I'm super happy today to have our friends from Adversus, Brian and Matthias, and they will focus on building outbound sales systems with AI. The reason why we are doing this session is because when we talk to them and we realized how critical these items was and how the solution was able to solve the outbound sales problem. And I was really impressed. That's not a topic that is very usually being advertised or talked about. And however, the performance they're able to drive is super impressive. So I told them, please take the stage and explain, guys, what you're doing and explain me why the outbound sales is a big challenge for everyone today. And I'm super happy to have you, Brian and Matthias, to join me. So the agenda will be quickly talking about the reality check of the outbound. We're going to talk about the Jalers, high-performing Jalers, namely Adversus. We're going to have a quick demo, a quick playbook that's going to be mentioned. Please stay until the end. You're going to have a very interesting playbook and demo and a bit of a Q&A at the end if we have the time. Brian, Matthias, thank you so much for joining. Brian is the CSO of Adversus, and Matthias has been able to join us today. I'm super happy because the IT project manager and is going to go through the technical stuff behind the solution. Thank you so much for joining, and the floor is yours now.
Thanks a lot, Jean-Louis, and thanks for having us. It's a pleasure, and I hope we have some good stuff for you guys as well. And please feel free to ask questions if something is coming to your mind through the presentation here. But the first topic we were having on the agenda were basically the outbound reality check. And speaking about the current situation in outbound, I think the question I get most from speaking with clients is basically, is AI taking over on outbound? So it's a huge thing right now, speaking about AI, and I think we've heard it before that outbound should be dead. We heard that 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and now I think it's popping a little bit up again. That outbound is dead, mainly due to all the AI that is running in. And are we then having AI is just calling out? But you can quote me on this. AI is not death, and AI agents will not take over on outbound, at least not for this period here. As we see it, outbound is basically growing. It's getting bigger. It's developing. So of course you're not doing outbound the same way today or within the next year as you did 10 years ago. So something is definitely going on there. So I think more we should see all the AI as a sales enabler. So something that can come in and help us. And I totally understand why this is popping up. We see it especially in customer service where chatbots is coming and can do a lot of job there. But we don't see it coming into outbound and in the same way. So it will be more as a sales enabler, something that can come in, help us perform better, get better insights, so we really can use the capabilities of all the AI functionality. And of course, later I will show you on a live demo how we work with AI in terms of quality assurance and yeah, basically be showing you something we do ourselves. We have our own team that are reaching out on the phones every day. But before jumping into to the topics I've chosen to show here, I would just shortly introduce you to Adversus. So who is Adversus? We are a company that are 10 years old as of now. We're born and raised within the dial industry in Denmark, and we're only having clients in Denmark when started. We are mainly focusing within the telco, insurance, energy companies, NGOs, BPOs. So that is the main targets we are reaching out to. But also due to that, outbound is developing. We are also developing towards sales enablement. So basically, also admit that we have multiple channels we can reach out through. It's not only a call today. It could also be emails. It could be SMS. It could be LinkedIn and stuff like that. The company is today having clients in more than 30 different countries, and when we are reaching out and sending traffic out, we are doing that in more than 150 calls worldwide. But yeah, let's try to jump into it. I've chosen some questions here that we see very often speaking with clients, both potential new clients coming into the company, but also existing clients. And it's basically going to how can we improve in different areas. So that will both be how do we increase conversion rate, how do we reach and improve our contact rate, how we're predicting our sales better, how do we get the insights to basically budgeting and see how can we improve and do stuff better. And then of course AI, I'll get back to that part and also show you how we are working with that. But the first one, how do we increase our conversion rate? Normally, when I get this question, people are focusing so much on the ones that we are converting into people that are saying yes. That could be we are selling. That could be that we are getting a demo or a booking into the calendar. I would actually like to turn it around. We spend so much time reaching out to people that are saying no when we're reaching out to them. And it's approximately 90% in average that are saying no. And we are speaking to them, and we have so much information and knowledge we're gaining from these conversations here. And if we can start to use that actively to create even better leads for ourselves for the future. That could be, of course, we can get a lot of information on leads today. We can scrape stuff, we can get information on home pages. There's so much information we can get out there on both, especially on companies. But on conversations, we're getting other insights. And these insights is really something we can use for optimizing and doing stuff better. So it's basically to build in the business logic directly and how do we work, what is the journey for our leads, how are we reaching out to them. If people are saying no, what is the reason for them to say no? Do we want to call with the same pattern on people that are saying no because of price or just hang up the phone? It could be we take a lead that says no to a price, put them into another campaign where we're reaching out with even sharper prices than first we did. So there's so much we can go in and optimize there. It could be we have chats with them about budgets. Where are the clients today? Do they have any binding if we're speaking B2B? All that information, if we can start to use that intelligent, we will basically be optimizing on our own lead pool and be able to call the best possible leads. Instead of having a lead list and 6 months later we turn it around and we call the same leads once again with the same way. So I would rather like, when we're speaking about conversion rate, I would rather like to focus on the 90% as a manager where we actually can go in and improve stuff and do stuff better. All in for agent training and how can they improve on the phone when they're reaching out. I totally in for that, but as a manager, I would rather like to focus on the big pool of the 90% that we don't convert and how do we optimize on that part. And speaking of improving the contact rate is also a huge thing that we're speaking with our clients about. And we see often that people, they maybe have a strategy on how they're reaching out. Some of them are only using one number reaching out, and at some point, this number will maybe get flagged, and the contact rate will basically be dropping. Some people or some companies, they may be changing number every month or so, but if the number is getting flagged and the contact rate is going down already after 2 weeks, then we have 2 weeks we're reaching out with a number before it's getting changed, where we have a low contact rate. So we are building some features directly in Adversus to optimize this and also control it. So you basically can be having a strategy for your phone numbers. How do we reach out to people? When do we change numbers? It could be different from country to country, of course, a call with local numbers, but it could also be within the same country. So maybe first time we reach out to them, they didn't pick up the phone. Second time, we maybe try with another number. and both optimizing on the leads that we are calling to the right and the best possible leads with the right and healthy numbers when we're reaching out to have a likelihood for them to pick up. We can go in and increase this contact rate. In the bottom here, you will see this is actually our internal numbers. I just put them yesterday. We have been working very intensely with the contact rate the last many years. And in 2023, our answer rate were on 34%, and last year, 25, we almost hit the 60%. And that's basically due to working both with the leads that we're reaching out to, and also the way we are using numbers and have a strategy for reaching out with the right and the best possible numbers. And in Adversus, we have our own team reaching out that also give us a lot of knowledge on how to utilize on our own product, and we try to gain this in speaking with clients as well and helping them achieve the same. Predicting our sales better. Of course, you need to be able to have the right insights for doing that. Your input is actually also your output. So we need to know our different conversion rates. So if we take a new employee, put them into Adversus in this case here, we need to know how many calls can they do and what will the output be. How much are they converting? How many of the leads are they closing? How many of the closed leads are they converting into a meeting or sales? This is key, that you have the numbers and you have the insights. What we see quite often is that in many places they have some pretty small KPIs where you are basically limited to only be working with these. We have chosen to provide the source for generating KPIs. We can actually go in and build our own KPIs and use the data. So if you want to track something specific, we can do that. And also putting in AI to our analytic tool, so you can basically just prompt you directly to getting insights. So it could be we want to see the successes from last week on user level, whatever campaign level, what it could be. Then we can basically prompt it in, and then the AI will generate the KPI for you directly when you're working with. So of course, it's key to have the right numbers to be able to check out and predict and basically know your input and know your outputs, and then you have a scalable business where you can be looking into it. I don't know if this, before I hand it over to you, Matthias, I don't know if any question has arrived so far.
Any questions? I have one. On my side. According to your experience from all the customers you had, how much time does it take for someone to reach I would say, the stable conversion rate when they join? Is it like 1 month, 3 months? And what's the effect of AI in this case? If you have like faster indicator, like in your software, how much time do you gain with the feedback loop in terms of training and increasing the conversion rate?
Yeah. I think it's hard to give an exact time on that, because it's really different from client to client, and also to the different cases. And also, of course, depending on what level are you at right now, what is the benchmark you are at right now. But I'll see within half a year, then most of our clients, they are the lead pool and start calling it all over again. And then we start to can use this insights we're gaining, all the knowledge we're gained from the first conversation when we're reaching out, and then we can start seeing an improvement there. If we're speaking about the numbers, that will have a decent impact from day one, basically. Of course, we can still be working on the strategy we are using, but are you calling out with a number, an unhealthy number that maybe is flagged or noted on a homepage somewhere, that will have immediately impact that you start to work better with the amount of numbers. And of course, yeah, it is an investment to use multiple numbers, but it's also quite expensive to have a low contact rate when reaching out to your leads.
So something that struck me when we had the discussions, and I know there are people in the chat, but is that when I started Gladia, I was not like super like educated on this topic. I never thought that phone numbers were like email or IP, um, when you have to handle reputation over time, and you can get your phone number being burned.
Yes.
And so I see that on the bottom left side, you have an answer rate that is increasing. Is it due to the farming and rotation of numbers, or is it due to other factors that could be introduced into the system?
Yeah, but I will say it's mainly down to two things. It's the way you're working with the leads to have the best possible leads available. Because if you're calling the relevant leads, they will pick up the phone. If you're calling the right time, let's assume a lead you're reaching out to, they are in a binding period for 2 years. It doesn't make any sense to call 6 months later, but it definitely matters if you're calling 2 months before they are out of the current contract, because then they are looking into the market. So it's more, of course, the number it's having a huge impact to basically be calling out with healthy numbers and changing them and rotating them, but definitely also the part where you're working with the 90% that you don't sell, so don't put to at the moment. Again, all in for agent training. The better agents, the better. But as a manager, I would definitely be looking at the 90% to see how can I go in and optimize. This is a big pool. This is where we really can do something and work with our leads.
If you don't mind, I have another question, CC. You stop me when you when you want. From what I understood, from everything you've presented in your solutions, there is, I would say, 3 factors that I've and 4 factors that I've understood. The first one is, how do you predict when your lead's going to have the best intent ahead? And your solution is helping on that.
Yeah.
The second one is the farming of the numbers. The third one is knowing what's happening in the pipe and having a feedback loops to train your employees. And I think the fourth one would be to say, how do I increase the feedback loop towards the first step, which is, did I convert or not? Can I improve my first algorithm? So it's not only a thing that is A, B, C.
No.
The cycle also that goes through. That's why you get improvement over the years, and not being like, hey, you go directly from 20% to 50%. You have to have multiple cycles along the time. So it's not a one shot.
Of course, we need to use the data. And now we're only speaking about leads circulating within Adversus, but let's assume that you have a marketing department as well. They are generating some leads. They also need to have feedback backwards. And that could be insights that we have gained directly speaking with the clients, but it could also be a transcription where you can maybe get some magic insights there to look into where should we place our money in within the marketing department.
So you're saying by using the transcript, running NLPs, LLMs, etc., you're going to find new pains to run new campaigns, to have a better targeting in your messaging, etc. So basically, it's not only the loop that is within the software, but it's how you feed the marketing to have a better top of the funnel and a better acquisition into your system with the campaigns.
Exactly.
So hence the importance you have the transcription, feeding the marketing, and not only using it for the QA. Like I mentioned before, of course, you can improve the conversion, but maybe you can have a better top of the funnel.
Exactly.
Amazing. Thanks for the transcription and LLMs. I guess over the last 2-3 years, with the rise of LLM, you had massive improvement into this feedback loop, I imagine. What was the, I would say guts, based on your guts, how would you say it improved the feedback loop towards the marketing to have better top of the funnel? Is it 5%, 20% in terms of speed or improvement?
Yeah, I'll say it's gonna be a gut feeling, but yeah, I think it's hard to put a direct number on, but it has definitely improved. Also, that one thing is to have an idea on the ICP, and I spoke a little bit about the ICP in the beginning. But if you also are allocated only to this ICP and not trying to be more clever, you can also use the data for seeing which one are we actually selling to, which one are we booking to. You can go in and enrich it with industry information to see if some changes are there Do we have some industries that maybe are opening up? That could be the bank industry. Even we will never find out if we don't have the data available. So of course we need to dig in to see what are our ICP. We have a good idea on it, but we also need to look and analyze on the ones that we afterwards are selling to use that directly back again to marketing, so they also can improve on that point.
Thank you so much. I have so many questions, but I don't want to bother everyone. I will have some questions about geo and stuff, but the thing that you dropped me, it's gold. Thanks to the transcription and LLM, you were able to find an expansion of your total addressable market by finding new niche and new verticals.
I would say not due to the transcription. That would be wrong to say. Of course, it's generating insights. The way we're using the transcription as of for now is maybe more to eliminate manually tasks. And then, of course, maybe later on it could be something we could look into, that's for sure. But right now we are mainly using it as a tool for the agents to have, of course, the transcription, so you can look through the conversation again, but generating summaries, generating notes. So when you hand over, we are booking appointments in Adversus, and they hand it over to an AE. Instead of them using 5 minutes making good notes, you can use it and generate a summary of the call with the most important tasks. So that's maybe what we use it internally for right now. But I will show you that also later here, how we do that.
Be my guest.
Perfect. But then I think I'll shoot it to you, Matthias.
Sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good to be here. All right. So now that Brian has set the scene, I will be a bit more hands-on with our application and get into a few ways in which Adversus allows for high-performing workflows. And I'll start off by talking about the Adversus dialer. So this is where our customers and their agents use, of course, the vast majority of their time inside our application. And for some of our customers, this part is mission critical. So if this part of our application is down, they will not be able to fully operate or be fully functional in their daily workflows. So just looking at the screenshot, on the left side, you have your lead data. So the person or lead or company that you're calling. And on the right side, you have your result data. So what was the overall outcome of the conversation? What were the notes that you needed to take? Do you need to schedule a callback time and so forth? And to make this as flexible as possible, we allow our customers to define almost all the fields that are presented in this view. So with this screenshot from the application here, you can see how we allow them to create, for example, result fields inside the dialer. And in this example, it's an input field where we also define, make them define how to interact with it. So input fields, should it be for the text? Should it be a date time picker? Should it contain drop-down options? So just to allow them to make the dialer fit their business needs. Some customers, they need calendar integrations, calendar widgets, so they can book meetings directly while talking. Others call on a more interview-based manner where they need a lot of input fields to note down information. It's also part of our overall product strategy to make Adversus in general just as flexible as possible. So when we take product requests, of course, we want to solve the issue at hand for the customer, but we also try to think about how can we solve this in a way that makes it creates a lot as value as possible for all as many people as possible. Yeah, and we allow for different dialing modes. So looking at the right side screenshot, you see 3 options in the drop down: manual, progressive, predictive. just very briefly, manual is when you call out on a manual basis. So calling, hanging up, taking your notes, moving on to the next one. Progressive allows you to fine tune efficiency a bit. So it will call leads automatically and it will move on to the next one if nobody picks up the phone. And then you have predictive, where you will call multiple people at the same time. So whoever picks up the phone the first, the agent will just be sent into the conversation directly. And of course, it will differ a lot which way is the best for your business. So manual will typically be used if you need to prepare a bit for who you're talking to. Whereas predictive, if you don't need to prepare so much for each conversation, and also if you have a business case for going through your lead lists a bit quicker, then this will be the most viable option. Also in the right side, you see the label lead order. So if you, for example, upload 50,000, 100,000 leads, how do you need to process them? Do you need to call people who have shown interest in your company most recently first? Do you need to call redials first, follow up on scheduled callbacks? Or do you need something third? You can set it here. And also you can combine different lead lists. So in the screenshot in the middle, I have combined two lead lists, one with leads from the city of Copenhagen, one with leads from the city of Aarhus. And then I can set the frequency, like how many calls should go to this lead list, how many calls should go to this lead list. And if you run out of leads on one lead list, then it will of course just resort to call leads from the other lead list 100% of the time until you upload new leads, and then it will resort back to the same percentages. So there's a lot of layers and a lot of ways to put together your data and structure how you want to work with it. The second way I want to just quickly go over I want to highlight how we enable for high performing workflows inside Adversus is our automation module. So it's a module built in with a user-friendly interface for setting up different branches and flows, different actions, also integrations. So if we look at the screenshot, I have made 3 different workflows. And I filter on the outcome of the conversations. So on the left side, I filter on conversations that were a success. And in those cases, I make a API request to my CRM system to post the data. In the middle branch, I filter on leads that were on conversations where the outcome was not interested. And then I have 2 actions. I deactivate the lead on the campaign or on the lead list and delete it from delete the contact info. And those actions are just 2 out of a number of predefined actions that we allow for in this module. And then the third branch on the right side is leads where the outcome of the conversation was an important callback, or what we would call a VIP callback. And the flow there is that first I send an email, then I pause the journey for 2 days, then I filter on contact attempts, send a follow-up SMS, and so forth. And this is not necessarily an automation that reflects one of our customers' automations. It's just to show the possibilities inside this automation module, and also that we have a module where people who don't have the most technical background, they can actually work with these automations, with integrations even, and set them up. And then the third way that I want to just highlight is a more recent one. So it's how we utilize AI to enable for high performing workflows inside Adversus. So we use transcriptions and quality assistance with AI, and especially transcriptions create a lot of value when the agents are working with callbacks or scheduled callbacks. So a lot of our customers, they book thousands of redials each week, conversations they need to follow up on. And in each of these cases, they either need to take really good notes after the conversation, or they need to listen to the recording from the last conversation before they make the call back. But by having the transcription and especially the summary inside the dialer, the Adversus dialer, it makes it very easy for them to just brush up on what did we talk about last time, what was the outcome, what do I need to follow up on in this conversation. And yes, as mentioned, the other part of our application that we fuel with AI is quality assistance or quality assurance. So we also have quite a few customers where they have employees working with quality assurance, and these employees, they need to listen to full recordings, they need to take notes, maybe they even need to transcribe the whole conversation manually. So we have built this module, and if we look at the screenshots, for each conversation on the left side, you have the transcription available, and then in the middle and the right side, you can see a certain a number of requirements, and we allow our customers to set these requirements themselves. Yeah, and then we use AI to evaluate, okay, did the agent pass this requirement? Did they fail this requirement? Or maybe the AI is in doubt. And also, of course, have human in the loop, second-hand evaluation on top of this. But here we use the transcription as basis for providing quality assurance with AI. And just one important note is that we have not taken an AI first approach to this. We have rather looked at the most precedent product requests and thought about how can we solve this in the best manner possible. And in certain cases, for example here, have thought, okay, there's really a case for solving this with AI. Yeah, so that were the three parts that I wanted to highlight. And if there's not any questions in the chat, maybe you probably have a question or two, Jean-Louis.
I have a question, of course. So going back to the slide, was it, sorry, I think it was this one. Sorry, I'm going back to slide here. You say you have some different mode of like dialers. Okay, cool. One of my questions is how not to get your phone number being burned when you are hammering with this progressive mode. What's the magic behind it?
Right. So yeah, so we rotate the phone numbers inside Adversus, especially to make sure that the phone numbers are not, yeah, as you say, burned, become unhealthy. We have automatic rotation of phone numbers to avoid this.
And you know for a fact, based on the past, how you get the healthiness of your phone numbers, I guess, based on your experience, or you have some indicators at some point? Or maybe I'm asking too much.
No, I think it's a fine question. Maybe I can elaborate a bit on this as well. But I think especially due to the phone numbers, of course we have an idea, but what we're also looking at is basically the data. So let's assume you have a number that starts to drop on the connecting rates more than usual. Then we can start to flag this number and tell you and inform you. So I think this is more also to have the information about, is it time to change? And then of course it's up to you when you want to change. But do you have a number that are dropping from a connection rate on 50% to 30 or 20? Maybe it's time for changing instead of waiting 2 weeks because you normally change it every month. So I think that's more. But mainly getting back to the topic here. This is more a tool to control which campaigns are prioritizing. So let's assume that many companies, they want to split this into different campaigns. So we have some leads we want to call with these settings here, these contact rates, and then we also have others. And maybe we want to do some testing on a batch of new leads. And instead of reaching out to our agents, tell them you need to call on this campaign, you need to call on this campaign, we can basically control this directly from the manager side of Adversus. So if we have something that is not performing, then we can basically take this and drag it to 0, and then we will not be getting any leads from it. It could also be if we're booking appointments. We have filled up a calendar in Copenhagen. Now we want to fill out the calendar in Aarhus instead of for just taking the example we have on the screen. Then it makes sense to not be calling on the campaign with Copenhagen leads and then take all the agents and basically be calling on the second campaign in this case here. So this is a manager tool where you can live during the day, during the week, you can control where do we put our effort, which leads are we prioritizing, which leads are we calling, without reaching out to the agents and tell them to change campaign. Now you need to call on this, and you can control everything live.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much for taking the time. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the chat. Going back to the demo then, Matthias.
Sure, it's me. Sure. Let me see.
Can you share the screen?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
So basically trying to elaborate a bit on what Matthias just showed you as well. You can say so that the transcription which we have teamed up with Gladia to make is basically the foundation of all the cool things that we can build with AI on top of it. So it's it needs to be accurate. It's very important that you have a good tool to transcribe the conversation. If you don't have that, that will basically influence all the features that we're building on top of it. So maybe the transcription and of a call is basic, but it's so key for all the functionalities that we're building up there. I just tried to jump into our production account here, and now I just went in to find some calls. But basically, we can go down and we can filter down on the calls we want to find. We can work with it directly from here. We can see the transcription of the call. We can also try to open lead. And basically here we are in the window of an agent that are working in Adversus. We have the different calls here. We can go in and we can see the transcription, the full transcription up here. We can go in and make a summary, and we actually have the possibility to go in and tell what prompt we want to have. So it could be we want to have a summary. It could be we want to have the most important keys from the conversation. It could be we want to prompt it to make an email template as a follow-up on the conversation we just had. We have the capabilities of choosing what would we like to have here. On our own team, also for testing a little bit out, we asked the AI to give it a Jordan Belfort score. So every time we do a call, we get a Jordan Belfort score from 1 to 4. How good was the call? So you basically have the possibilities of doing a lot of different things with the summary. It could also be you could use it for handing it over. So if you're booking appointments and you need to hand it over to someone else that's going to have the demo, and then you can go in and prompt it for making these notes. And instead of spending a lot of time, you can basically have the AI doing stuff like that. So I think the AI is not here to replace anything. It's here to optimize and also reduce costs. That is mainly the key for this. How do we work smarter? How to reduce the time when we are on the phone, when we try to book appointments, when we try to sell, and basically removing all the manual stuff we have. But I get back to the foundation. It's the transcription that is the foundation. So a good transcription is just key. And yeah, that's where we teamed up with Gladia on that one. But let's go to the QAI, the quality assistant. So basically what we can do is to have an AI checking through. So let's assume we have some different criteria that needs to be fulfilled every time we do a success. Or we want to check the quality on the call in general. we can set an AI up to do that. And again, this is to have some consistency doing this. So it's not a human that are involved, that are listening into call and doing some kind of score afterwards. We have the AI checking up on these things here. The basic stuff in the top, giving a name, you'll choose the campaigns. Then you're basically putting up the filters. Which leads do I want to check here? In this case, and the example I have here on our own team, here we are checking all the successes. So every time we do a success, we have some criteria we want to check in on. We do it on 100% of the calls where the conversation is more than 30 seconds. It could also be we want to check the quality on our leads that are turning out to be not interested, but we don't want to do it on 100%, maybe we want to do it on 20. Then we can basically control it like we have here. We can have multiple models set up for this and AI agents set up for this. So we can have an agent checking on successes, we can have an agent checking on not interested, etc. So this is the base setting. The fun part or the good part is down here, where we can go in and set the different criteria. So in this case, I need to make sure that every time we call out, we need to introduce ourselves coming from Adversus. So this is basically the prompt that I'm checking out for that. And as you can see here, we prompt directly within what is it we want to have. And looking at it, we maybe think, okay, this is a crazy prompt. And totally agree, this is not me who has been writing this. I've actually been using the AI for making the prompt I would like to have to check this. But we need to introduce ourselves. It's a must-do, and we need to do it in all conversations we are having. And we want to use the AI to generate an outcome. It could also be we have some hard criteria where we want to have human involved. And then we just set it for human evaluation. But I can try to show you another one here. This one, I just changed that. So every time we book an appointment, we want to have an idea on how many users do the company have. So let's try to jump into this one. And as you can see, this is a very lightweight prompt. We can go in and optimize it directly here. So we will use the AI author for optimize. So now he will be taking all the information I just put in here, and then he will start to ask me some question. I can just start chatting with him. I'll just do it shortly here to yes, 3, yeah. And after chatting back and forth, maybe he will come back with even further questions here. And now I see I didn't answer them before, but otherwise he will come with a suggestion. He came with a suggestion. No, he came with more questions. We will just, yes. We'll just see if we can get something here. So we will basically be chatting back and forth here. Yes. Hopefully he will come with a suggestion. Cool. So after asking all the questions, then we have a suggestion, and I can take it directly into my prompt. And then I have a prompt that are doing the stuff and optimize for what I'm actually searching for, to have the best possible prompt. And after we have set up all our criteria here, we can activate it, and then we will go to the next one. Here we will have all the ones that has been gone through the AI model and been checked. The ones that just pass through, we can send them directly without any human involved. So they will just say all the criteria is fulfilled, we will pass it forward. But all the ones where we maybe had one or multiple criteria that didn't went through, then it will be sent for human evaluation. So this is basically a security control that we don't send anything through where something is on. We can try to take an example here. So under the QA, I have one here that has failed. We have the information about the agent up here. We have the transcription here on the column. We have the summary of the column. And here we have the different criteria. We can press directly into all the ones that has passed. We will be pointed directly if we want to make sure that this is actually passed. We can go directly into the conversation. But in this case, we had one that failed. we can hover here to get an explanation on why it failed. But that's the reason why it's ending up here in the manual evaluation. We need to find out if we should approve this or we should fail it. But you will have it on all the requirements down here. And then we can basically afterwards, when we have listened through, to see if the contract period where the agent asking for that, then we can of course go in and pass it, and we can move on to the next one. So this is quality insurance, where we can go in and make some quality check directly into our calls, the same way over and over again. So we have the consistency, but also to reduce costs and optimization on the way we are working.
We have a question coming in the chat. Sorry to cut you. Do you have an idea from your experience about how the fact of leaving a message in the voicemail of the customer really impact the phone number reputation?
Oh, that's a good question. Just see here. Where do I see the?
I think in the tab next to it, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure how much it's directly impacting. We have built in some functionalities instead of telling or saying the voice mail every time you're hitting that. We have built some pre-recorded messages we can play directly on the mailbox. But I actually don't know how much it's going to impact. It's a very good question. I simply don't have the correct answer for it, but I can try to investigate, Alexander, and then I can get back to you on that one to see if some in our customer success team has some insights here. That's for sure.
Amazing. And going back to the playbook, what's the biggest mistake teams make when they introduce Pitch AI into their sales platforms?
And that's for you, I guess.
From Matthias, maybe.
Sure. It's a very good question. Of course, you need also to, when you introduce this, you need to secure that there is a workflow that functions without AI. So in the scenario that somebody questions was this decision taken, why was this decision taken, you need to consider do we have a fully functional system without the AI features? Of course, they help us optimize a lot, helps improve our platforms, but always you need to think in terms of resilience, redundancy, and also just to make sure, of course, baseline, this feature that you introduce to the sales platform, does it actually create a lot of value for our customers? So really consider what direction you're going in.
Yeah, I think also one thing that we at least so far has noticed is that one thing is we can go in and optimize and we can automate a lot of stuff here. It's also requires some time to look into, is the prompt doing what we actually wanted to do? So if you just put it in once and then you believe that everything is just the way it should be, we need to, at least in the beginning, to check that the AI is doing what we would like it to do. So manually checks, at least in the beginning, until we have a good idea that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. And then we can maybe close the eyes a bit more and trust the AI. But I think we need to make sure that it's actually doing what it should do and not trust it by the first prompt we made. I think I'm the best at prompting, but I found out that I was not after doing it here. So it's more we need to optimize on that part. But we have some very good guys in the team helping our clients out with this and coming with suggestions. So basically, what is it we want to achieve? We have so much knowledge. Let's just help out and yeah. optimize together with the client.
Thank you so much. I think we are close to the time. Thank you so much for taking it. Really appreciate. Alexandre is thanking you for the answers, and I do thank you also for all the answers and the interesting demo and features. I guess people can find you on LinkedIn. I think we have your email, not emails, but website in the event. So people, please feel free to look at Adversus. Really love their platform, and looking forward to collaborate even more in the future. Thank you, everyone. Oh, we have a quick question. Was it a question? Oh, we have a quick question from Alexandre. Very quickly, Alexandre. We have 2 minutes. Quick question about Gladia feature. Would it be possible to use structured model output formatting with the final and stable of the audio LLM Gladia feature? Maybe at some point soon. So I would say it will come. Are you considering adding a voicemail detection feature at some point? Alexandre, I love your question. I would love to discuss that further, but I think it's doable. So definitely, like, there are ways to do it. So yeah. Will it be possible to use audio LLM with live API? Very good question, Himad. If it's something that you guys want, we can look into it. Definitely. Like, keep asking this question. I love it. Also interested for audio LLM. Okay, cool, guys. Imad, Alexandre, ping me directly on my email. Here is my email. I'll just put it in the chat. Ping me. We will look into it. Okay. If it's what you guys want, we're gonna look into it. Definitely. It's the moment Alexandre is typing again. Oh my God, he's gonna add some stuff to the roadmap. You're welcome. Well, thank you, Alexandre. Is thanking you for the presentation. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate. Brian, thank you for taking the time. Matthias, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate the presentation, all the work, and let's keep like working together on those amazing topics. Thank you, Sis, for organizing that.
See you
Thank
guys.
you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome. See you guys. Always welcome.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.